Today is a very auspicious day, particularly this Purnima, which is dedicated to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is the best sun and moon you can see. Today is the moon is a very special moon. And today was the birthday of the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So I thought that we should remember him, discuss about him. He was a great revolutionary, as a great devotee of Sri Krishna. So please repeat after me. Krishnaya,
Krishnaya,
Vasudevaya,
Vasudevaya,
Hare Paramatmani.
Hare Paramatmani.
Oh, nice. Sri Krishna, that was the main object of worship for the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It was 1485. It was Dol Purnima evening, and that time the Jagannath Mishra and Shachi Devi, they were blessed with a son in Navadvip, Bengal, India. The father, the Jagannath Mishra, named his newborn son as Bishambar, and the mother named him as Nimai. They had another son, elder brother of Bishambar. His name was Vishwarupa. Now, when most of you have already read and you know, this family, the whole family, a very special family. The whole family was dedicated to God. The father and the mother, and both the sons, they will become sannyasis. And this family we are discussing, and particularly the Nimai, who afterwards became famous as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, for his different contribution. And he was very fond of saying Hari Hari. Whenever there will be something, this young little boy, instead of crying or saying something else, he used to say Hari Hari. And people used to call him Gaur Hari for that. Around all the neighbors they used to love to call him as Gaur Hari, as because he was very fond of shouting Hari Hari. Sometimes he used to cry, he would be crying in Hari Hari, and he'll be calling as Hari Hari. So that the nickname became Gaur Hari. Why Gaur? Another name was Gauranga. Gauranga means his complexion was very bright. Usually in the eastern part among the Bengalis, not that much fairness is there. It's a mixed color. But he was completely different type, almost like white. So they gave him the name Gaura. Gaura means the bright. Anga is the sharir, the body. Gauranga, one whose body is white. So many names he got. And he was afterwards became, as a sannyasi, got the name Sri Krishna Chaitanya Bharati. We will come to that the incident, how it happened. And then he became famous as Chaitanya Deva. Sri Krishna Chaitanya was his name, sannyasi name. And Bharati was the Dashanami Sampradaya title. But he became famous as Chaitanya, Chaitanya Deva, and sometimes Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So his Chaitanya Deva's birthplace is Navadvip, and the second capital of the famous Bengal's king, Ballal Singh. Those who know the history of Bengal particularly, they know this same dynasty is a very famous dynasty. Particularly the Ballal Singh, He was a very wonderful warrior, great warrior. At the same time, he was a patron of education and culture. This Ballal Singh, he captured a part of Orissa, whole of Bihar, and complete Bengal. So that was, at his time, Ballal Singh's time, that was his territory. And his soldiers, particularly from the Sundarban area, the coastal area, they were ferocious type of soldiers. The Ballal Singh, the whole of India they knew, and no one ventured to attack him. That was the same dynasty. And this Ballal Singh, he used to love to listen to the debates of the scholars. And that was the almost the habit of all the kings. They used to appreciate the singers, the dancers, and the painters, and the great scholars, and debate between two different views. So he used to, and he slowly came to Nadia, because on the bank of the Ganga, the holy river, all Hindu, they believe if you take a bath in the Ganga and you become purified. So he shifted his capital. Not shifted means he developed a second capital in Nadia. So obviously different cultural people, educated people, capable people, they started assembling over there, and Nadia became very famous as a seat of learning. And in those days, the Nyaya, different philosophies are there, 6 systems of philosophy. Nyaya means debating. Bengalis, they love that debating. If you say something, they will immediately refute with another point. So that debating, they liked it. So developed Nyaya. Only the books were available, teachers were available in now the present day, the UP, Uttar Pradesh. So Bengali students, Brahmins, they used to go over there to learn. And when they complete that study, they will take out all the books from them and say, whatever you have remembered, that you can carry. But no book you can carry. Why? So that those teachers over there, to keep the supremacy. The one Bengali boy went over there, he memorized the whole Nyaya. It's so complicated, even one page. And to understand that, it takes time. So he memorized the whole that, and then when they took out the book, he said, no problem, you can take out all my notes, all my books, it is all in my memory. So he came back in Nadia and reproduced, he started dictating, and 2 of his disciples, students, they reproduced. And that became the Nabbo Nyaya, the new Nyaya. And it became more famous. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu studied that Nabbo Nyaya. He was a very highly scholar of that Nabbo Nyaya. Now Ballal Singh's son was Lakshman Singh. He was also, as his father, used to appreciate the scholars and others. So they were living over there very happily. Let us remember a little history so we can understand why God has saved a very holy person in the Sri Chaitanya Bharati over there. So the history started changing. And the Sultan Mahmud of Ghajani, so he defeated the Hindu king Raja Jaipal of Gandhar. Gandhar is present Afghanistan. And Gandhari, the very famous lady, the queen of Delhi, she came from Gandhar. Afghanistan was a part of India. And the kings were the Hindus over there. So the last Hindu king was this Jaipal. And he was defeated by Sultan Mahmud of Ghajani. Ghajani was nearby. And what he did, The battle was in Peshawar. We can understand that those who are from India and if those who study the maps, they can understand. It was nearby places. He started living over there, this master. And then he came to know that India has a lot of wealth. You know what he did? 17 times he raided India, particularly Gujarat. He used to come from there 17 times he did and took away a lot of gold but did not capture the land. That is also another thing. Though he started it and 1001, that was the time, 1001, he came and then he started attacking Indian parts and got a lot of wealth. And that news spreaded all over the Middle East. And they were very good warriors and they were not having sufficient wealth. So obviously when they came to know about the India, and in Hindi, in that language they used to say, it's a golden bird and not very difficult to attack. So they started one after another. The 1192, the Muhammad of Ghor, the Ghori they used to say, Muhammad of Ghor, led the foundation of Muslim rule in India. So it is 11th century, we can say, they started 1192. So first the Ghor came from Afghanistan and they started ruling India. Afterwards, when the Babur came, he was from another portion. Though all in religion they were Muslims, but they were different kings. When the Babur came, he had to fight with these people because they were already there from 11th century ruling India. 1202, that was the time when Bakhtiyar Khilji, he first laid the Muslim conquest of Bengal. Though it was a difficult terrain, difficult area, because from the north they had to go a far area, because you have to cross the Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Odisha, and all these places. And it was not like this, it was all mostly jungle, the kings were there, and ultimately they reached to Bengal and captured Bengal. And from then onwards, the Muslims started ruling Bengal. That is 1202. The Bakhtiyar shifted the capital from Navadvip to Gouda. The Gouda, now we know there's still the places there, the Gouda Bengal, so he shifted that. Though they actually captured, but they employed the educated Hindus in different administrative position capacities, but their religious spokespersons, Maulavis they are known, they started converting the villagers in great numbers. There are two reasons were there. Caste system. The Brahmins, they were not actually behaving properly with the lower caste people. What the lower caste people? The ordinary people like the carpenter, the cobblers, the sweepers, they're like this. As because their professions were those things, and these people who used to study the scripture, they used to think, and doing the puja, we are higher than them. So by that way, there was a great gap. And when the Muslims came, they understood that the number, by number, they were less. A few handful. They came all the way from Delhi and started ruling Bengal. And they thought if we are not having the number, and the people should be converted, local people, otherwise we won't be able to rule. So they started converting these people and giving them a lot of support from the ruler side. So the Bengal was converted a lot. And if you notice, it is East Bengal. because most of the people who used to, this type of people used to live in East Bengal. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's origin is from East Bengal. Nowadays East Bengal. That was one Bengal only. In those days it was only one Bengal. Now we say East Bengal, West Bengal, etc. So this is a situation. The 1202, the Bukhtiyar Khilji captured and they were ruling. But one thing we notice, this Bukhtiyar Khilji, he defeated the rulers of Delhi. Delhi, they used to ask for the taxes, but the Bengal rulers always said no. Balalji never gave, his son, he also never gave. These people, the Muslims who came and started ruling, they also refused to be under the rule of Delhi. I think tradition continuing. So this is the way they always had. And they employed many Hindus though, but this was the condition. At this time, in the 1485-86, Nimai was born and he started growing up in a wonderful situation because at that time even the Nadia, though it was shifted, but all educated people, they continued living in Nadia because of the Ganga. The affinity of the Ganga, the closeness of the Ganga, the Hindus, they always like to live by the side of the Ganga. So most of the educated people, they lived over there and he was growing up over there. And will you believe, and their family deity was Raghunath. And Sri Ramakrishna's family deity, again, the Raghu, that means the Sri Ramchandra. These people also used to worship Sri Ramchandra, the Raghunath. And Nimai, as a young boy, was very, very naughty. His brother, elder brother, 8 years older, was very calm and quiet type of person. And he was very attentive in his study. And he used to go and listen to the debates of the senior educated people. So he was learning in that way. There was no problem with him, Bishamba, and he, Vishwaru, and this Bishamba was exactly opposite. And whatever he demanded, it must be given to him immediately. Otherwise, this little boy, he understood the mother, Shachi Devi, never allowed anyone to enter into that shrine of Raghunath without bathing and wash clothes. So he used to threaten the mother, I will go and touch that without bathing unless you give me this thing or that thing. The mother, he used to make the mother compelled to give like that. So sometimes we find that how things are happening. They used to offer the flowers to the god. Suddenly they will notice that he is wearing that garland or taking that the flower from the deity and moving here and there, showing everybody. So look, this is my flower. And the mother used to think, what is happening? How come he get this? We offer it to God, but how this little boy get that flower? And sometimes they will offer food, and this is the system that after offering the food, they are supposed to close the door so that God can privately eat. And after some time they will open. But they found that most of the time, when they opened the door of the shrine, this little boy is sitting over there and eating with great joy. The food that was offered to the Ramchandra, the Raghunatha, Sri Ramakrishna's parents, they used to Raghu Veer. This is Raghunath. The Raghunath, this is Sri Ramchandra, and this boy will be sitting and eating. The person, his name was Jagadish Pandit. He organized a puja of Sri Ramachandra. This boy started crying, I need those food. And those food, how can that be? It has been offered to that house, a neighbor's house. Puja is going over there. This boy is crying over here, and he was crying so loudly. Nearby people came and said, what happened to this boy? Some offered fruit he wants. Fruit was given to him, sweets were given to him, he is not content. Those things offered to him should be given. When these news reached to the Jagadish Pandit, he felt that if I offer this thing to this young boy, my God will accept it. And truly, with great devotion, he brought the whole offering to this little boy, who became very happy, and by that way Jagadish was also happy. Vishwambar used to become calm, and whenever this Vishwarup, the young brother, will go to his elder brother, 8 years old, he used to become very calm. And whatever the brother used to say, he used to listen to that. So that sometime, and another very special thing in the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's when he was a child, he used to go into trance. When people used to say that he lost his consciousness, just like Sri Ramakrishna. So, and when he used to, if we say fainted, he used to get fainted, lost his external consciousness, his body complexion used to glow 100 times more, as if a light is emanating from his body. Most of the villagers, they observed it, but they were not knowing what is all this. At the age of only 16, his elder brother Vishwarup, when his parents were thinking to, because he completed his study, and as a Brahmin son, he was supposed to start a school. But instead of that, this boy secretly left the home, and people said he has gone to become a sannyasi, because there were other elderly people. This Vishwarup used to go and discuss with them. They told, yes, he expressed many times his willingness to become a sannyasi, so don't worry, he must have gone to the Himalaya. So that was the place where all the sannyasis used to go. He will accept a sannyasa. Maybe he will come back after 12 years. Usually sannyasis after 12 years, they go to see the mother of the motherland. And this time, this Vishwambar, he was 8 years old. He said to his mother before others, don't cry. I will look after you. I am not going to become a sannyasi. I'll be here and serving you. So you need not to cry. All people, they were astounded seeing the responsibility, and really, to keep his words, he became very calm, and that 8 years old boy, and started attending the school and started learning the Sanskrit grammar. He was a grammarian. He learned the Sanskrit grammar very perfectly, and he learned it from Gangadhash Pandit. He also studied Alankara. Alankara means when we say some words, we can use the word in many different ways. And that is the beauty of the language. You can say in a plain way, but at the same time, you can use that language in a many different way. As they used to say that I memorized, the Hori upare Hori boshe shobha paye, Hori ke dekhiya Hori, Hori te lukai. Same Hori, the word Hori, is using in so many different ways. Hori ke dekhiya Hori, Hori te lukai. Hori upare Hori boshe shobha paye. That means a Hari is sitting on another Hari, and look at the beauty of it. And another Hari is approaching, and this Hari jumping into the water and saving his life. What is all this? Actually, it is a flower on which a frog was there, and when the frog saw a snake is approaching, he jumped into the water to save his life. So this is called Alankara, and many others. The beautiful way they used to. So he learned that also. And he was a very great scholar of Navgonai. He learned the language, he learned the Alankara and the Nyaya. And when he became 16, naturally his mother was worried that my elder son has already left. This boy should be in the household, and without his knowledge, they arranged the marriage, and he was wedded with the Lakshmi. The first wife was Lakshmi. My first wife. After the marriage, his mother said, "Will you please go to see my mother, the grandmother, who was living in a faraway place in East Bengal? Because I gave the word that when you grow up, I will send you." The grandmother wanted to see the grandson, and he heard about you. "Will you please go?" Before marriage, he could go, but after marriage, I don't know why. But then he said, okay. He started the journey, and you can imagine it was so difficult. You have to walk, and walk. That they were only Brahmins. They couldn't even hire the what's called the cow-drawn carts also. That was costly for them. They couldn't even pay the money to cross the river with boat. So they were so simple, but they were very holy and educated people. So he started walking, and village after village he crossed. He reached over there, met that old lady. She was very happy. The first time both of them were meeting each other, there was no one to introduce them, and then they had to introduce themselves. By that way, after meeting that lady, and wherever he went, that was the system. The rich people, the landlords, used to invite the scholar. When they came to know there's a great scholar of Nabbanaya, he has come, they used to visit, ask him to visit the houses, they used to give him gift. So with all those gifts and everything, he came back. At the time of coming back, he could hire a cart, so he came back. But by this time, when the Nimai left, this little girl, the newly married girl, Lakshmi, she went to offer the fodder to the cows, and there was a snake, and in the snake bite, this little girl passed away. Nimai naturally brought many gifts for his wife. When he came back, he saw the wife is not there, and he then immediately thought, this world is so temporary. Why should I be in this world? His mind started thinking in that way. There was a gentleman who was famous as Advaita Acharya. His name was Kamalaksha Bhattacharya. This Kamalaksha Bhattacharya was the court priest of a local king. The king means, we can say, the landlord. This Kamalaksha Bhattacharya was there, and that was the tradition of India. Every rich person used to have a family priest. So this family priest used to take care of their pujas, and then they used to have the control their emotions also. That is the very controlling these rich people, because when the money is there, the obviously different type of thoughts comes, and they become angry also because they are having the manpower, money power. This priest used to control them and guide them on the path of religion. So that balancing was always there, including in the families of the landlords. Every big kings they used to have. And the time of Ramachandra also, we know they were having. So he was one at that time. But the Muslims invaded that area, they captured that area, and this type of people they shifted to Nadia. Nadia was protected. Muslims never disturbed the Nadia because all these educated people were there. This Advaita Acharya, who was the Kamalaksha Bhattacharya, he came to Shantipur, and he was a follower of Shankaracharya philosophy. Darshanami Shankara, our famous Shankaracharya, his philosophy, and he took initiation from Madhavendra Puri. Now these are very famous names. The Puri Sampradaya, they is interfering here also. If we see then the life of Sri Ramakrishna Vivekananda, and here also this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this Puri Sampradaya. And Madhavendra Puri, he was one of the sannyasis of the Dashanami Sampradaya. And Chaitanya will be joining these, so I am just mentioning. So Chaitanya made also, and he was very much impressed by seeing a sannyasi who was Ishwar Puri. The Ishwar Puri, Swami Ishwar Puri was the disciple of Madhavendra Puri. Obviously, Madhavendra Puri became and this our Kamalaksha Bhattacharya, as because he used to always discuss about the Advaita, the people used to call him as Advaita Acharya. Acharya means the teacher, Advaita Acharya. So they forgot his other name, Kamalaksha. And this way it was going on. The Ishwar Puri, he wrote a book on Sri Krishna. Though he was a Dashanami Sampradaya, he wrote a book on Sri Krishna Tattva. What is the true meaning of Sri Krishna?